This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
What's up, folks? Noah, the vaguely hipstery artist guy here. I've got art in my blood. I've always got a million projects going on at once across many different mediums. And for someone like me, Skillshare is a lifesaver.
Skillshare is an online learning community with classes on music production, illustration, creative writing, even businessy stuff like marketing and web development. You can further your skills in just about any creative medium on Skillshare. Classes usually take about an hour and include both a video lesson and a hands-on assignment. There are thousands of classes to choose from, and when you join, you get unlimited access to the entire learning community and every single class. Skillshare is an incredible resource for artists of all types,
And that includes my type, photographer. I want to take awesome pictures, but I still don't know what all these buttons and dials do.
so I'm thinking of taking Fundamentals of DSLR Photography with Justin Bridges, a multi-part series on shooting basics. New classes are being added all the time. You can tailor the entire experience to fit your creative desires and schedule.
And you ready for the real zinger here? The first 1,000 people to click the link down in the description will get a free 1-month trial of Skillshare Premium. So check it out today! And if you'll excuse me, I just brought home a gorgeous meatball sub, and the lighting in the dining room is just incredible right now. The world needs to see this.
Kind of a swirl? Hello there, my friends, and welcome to another edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. I'm really tired. I slept poorly. My voice is all morning-y. It's all tired. My voice is so weak. But the news, the show must go on. We must talk about the news. Unfortunately, we did not get our mid-September Nintendo Direct as many of us expected. However, we did get a Switch system update, and what an update it was. Most notably, the Switch now supports Bluetooth audio. I don't know why it took over 4 years. I really don't know. I mean, I guess I know, like, the controllers use Bluetooth, and so maybe Nintendo was afraid of it, like, interfering. Maybe they had to get the firmware exactly where they needed it to be before they were confident. I don't really know, but that's pretty cool. You can use Bluetooth headphones now. Cool. Another cool thing, though, if you regularly post pictures and video from your Switch to your Twitter, you probably noticed how when Twitter upgraded the amount of characters you can have in a tweet, the Switch didn't. I don't know why. It's another one of those things, like, why did it take you so long? It was like the original 180 characters or whatever, but now they finally did it. You can finally write more when you tweet stuff from your Switch. Awesome. This is a weird one. Some people have been reporting that some games load faster, like the black screen with the little switch in the corner. They're saying that, like, it's just going a lot faster. Sometimes it doesn't even have time to do the whole little animation. But then Nintendo Life did a write-up, and Alex Olney was doing some testing and said that some of the games actually take longer to load. So that's weird. I don't know if, like, on average, more of them load faster, or if it's just kind of like, I don't know, everything interacts with this update differently. You know, overall, it's not more than a few seconds in one way or the other, but that's kind of funny. And finally, I don't know if anyone else in the world is going to appreciate this update, but you know how, like, when you calibrate your control stick, you used to have to, like, click it in to start the calibration process, and it was never a problem, never. But every single time I did it, I was worried that I would, like, move the stick too much so that when I started calibration, it would already be wrong. Apparently at least someone at Nintendo felt the same way, because now you, like, push the stick in a direction for a few seconds to get the calibration going, and that, like, starts it. Maybe it starts it when you let go. I haven't tested it out, but it seems that at least someone somewhere was like, you know what? Let's change this. I appreciate it. So to celebrate the launch of WarioWare Get It Together, Wario temporarily took over Nintendo's Twitter just for like a few hours or something, and it was very funny. If you didn't see, you weren't around for that. Lots of pretty interesting tweets. I would say the most important thing that came out of it, though, was at the end, they actually got Charles Martinet to, like, make him say, Twitter stinks. Like, that's just funny. I don't know. Like, that line existing is just pure and perfect, and I feel like they should make Wario say more ridiculous things so we can have those things In an interview with Video Games Chronicle, Platinum Games' Atsushi Inaba, to paraphrase, said the company is actually very interested in porting Star Fox Zero to the Switch, but it is all up to Nintendo, and if it were to happen creatively, like all of the design choices would be on Nintendo's end, specifically Shigeru Miyamoto, so, you know. And that means it probably won't happen, because if Shigeru Miyamoto's in charge, he might not want to part with the gamepad controls. Who knows, but that's kind of interesting. Also notable, Hideki Kamiya went on a kind of mini rant about how it's kind of ridiculous that these companies have these old games and they're not making them available for people to play. He even, again, to paraphrase, kind of equated the whole thing with holding game culture back. Strong, biting words, yet good words. He's got the right idea, doesn't he? Which is funny, because it's like, we work closely with Nintendo. We're doing Nintendo games. We love Nintendo. But sure would be cool if unnamed video game companies weren't hoarding all of their old games and actually let us, like, you know, play them. I don't know, it's funny. Also on the subject of Platinum Games, Hellena Taylor is the voice of Bayonetta. On Twitter, a fan told her, "You're an icon, Helena. I can't imagine Bayonetta without your amazing voice." She responded with, "Well, you might have to." And later in the thread, someone said, "What's that supposed to mean?" And she said, "I am not at liberty to say." It's a bit disturbing, I'm sure, for fans of the series and for her portrayal and all that. But it sounds like she's gonna stop being the voice actor, and who really knows why. As people have pointed out, there's a very fine chance that she is indeed returning for Bayonetta 3, but it could be something else. They didn't want her anymore for future titles. It could be they don't plan on making future titles. It could be that she's just not happy with the role anymore. Whatever the case though, that's a bummer, if true. If you are thinking of collecting Lego Mario sets, you better get on it now, because a few sets from the first wave of stuff are retiring soon. Specifically, the Boomer Bill Barrage and Whomp's Lava Trouble expansion sets. Of course, I do say you should get on it now, but I'm sure, like, now that they've said they're retiring soon, you probably have to pay 10 times the price, but I don't know. This is it's a normal thing with Lego. They don't keep them in production forever. They kind of cycle through them. End of story. So last week we had that rumor about the base model Switch getting a price drop in France, and it seems that it is now official. It is getting a price drop across all of Europe. It's going from 280 to 260 pounds and 330 to 270 euros. Unfortunately, it seems that right now the price is only dropping in those territories with no plans to do so basically anywhere else. One Stephen Totilo got in contact with Nintendo and says that they said, nah, basically nah. But it sounds like this price drop is probably, less to do with, like, wanting to aggressively price the Switch and more about, economics and currency, whatever. I'm not smart enough to think about that. Next story. Colors 3D was a very popular drawing app on the 3DS. Last year, there was a Kickstarter for Colors Live to come to Switch. It was very successful, and it seems that Nintendo wanted to get in on this because they just tweeted a big thing. There's going to be a physical version of Colors Live, and it comes with the pen and everything, and if you don't know anything about this, the pen plugs into the headphones jack and uses, like, sound. It uses sound to detect the pressure sensitivity, so it kind of emulates an actual, like, drawing tablet and stuff. And I think this is very cool. It's a really, really nice alternative, like if you don't have, a nice drawing tablet or anything like that, but you already have a Switch. Look at that. You got it right here. You got the software and the pen. It's a really good entry point for digital art. So check it out if that's something you're into. So NateDrake recently, my voice is going. See, it's tired. It's going. Recently, NateDrake was talking about how Game Boy games are definitely coming to NSO. Now at it again, saying that N64 games are coming to NSO, but it kind of sounds like he only said it because somebody else, like Bloomberg or someone, said it first, and it's kind of like, why didn't you say it before? So I don't know. I really don't know if there's anything to this at all, but I sure hope so. Although, hey, here's the thing right here. Nintendo recently filed an FCC application for a new controller, and it seems decently likely that this will be related in some way to, like, Switch Online in the same way that the wireless NES controller was or something. what if they did N64 games and they gave us a little extra wireless N64 controller? It could happen. That'd be pretty cool. Pokemon Company is holding a contest. Apparently they've usually done this only in Japan, but now they're opening it up to the US as well. People can submit art for Pokemon cards, and the winners will have their art printed on promo cards. And there's like, you know, prizes and stuff, but there's no better prize than the card itself, right? So that's pretty neato. Get the colors live. Get the colors live and do a Pokemon art. There you go. Speaking of Pokemon, Pokemon 25, the album featuring all these hits by your Katy Perry and your whoever else. I don't remember. It's finally happening. It's coming October 15th. You can pre-order it right now. Wow. There you go. Daemon X Machina recently had its 2nd anniversary, and in an anniversary live stream, producer Kenichiro Tsukuda said that they are very, very much interested in making a sequel. And it doesn't seem like the game did too well. It kind of was not. It was a really rocky launch, but at the very least, they want to. He says, this isn't really an announcement, but I'd like to make a strong assertion that we will make some kind of sequel. And I don't know, like, would it be on Switch? Would Nintendo want them to do that? Would it be on other platforms? Who really knows? But that's interesting. Now, this is a thing I'm not even gonna try to go into actual depth about any real specifics here. There's a link down in the sources. You can check the whole thing out for you. There's a whole write-up about it. I'm gonna give you just the gist. You can look into it more if you think it's interesting. It's really interesting. Oh, and this isn't a news story. It's one that came out last year, but I guess it just didn't get like picked up and shared around, and now Nintendo Life did it, and so because I read Nintendo Life, so they did a thing, and then I saw it, and now I'm telling it to you. I don't read the news when it's new, I read the news when everybody starts talking about it, and I notice it's a thing. So years ago, several years ago, a Mario 64 speedrunner was speedrunning Mario 64 as Mario 64 speedrunners are wont to do, when all of a sudden, in TikTok clock, Mario just shoots up into the air. Just shoots up into the air, seemingly for no reason. Nobody knew why, and it was actually, like, helpful. They were able to, like, complete the thing even faster. Just went straight up. It's a I mean, you know, they break these games. They know all the glitches. No one knew why this happened at all. Years later, they started to dig into this whole thing again and figure it out, because even originally they put out a bounty, $1,000 bounty on whoever could figure out what this glitch was and recreate it. No one could. But now the prevailing theory is that it was caused by a rogue particle from space. The glitch happened because somewhere in the code, a 0 was turned to a 1, or a 1 to a 0. Just one. Just one single thing, and that is what made it happen. And apparently this is something that can happen with, you know, all sorts of electronics. It's just random bits of radiation or whatever from space. But it usually just causes a crash. It just causes a problem, like a random crash, something malfunctioning. This can happen. So in this specific case, it seems that it happened in a way that actually aided him. The fact that that happened is so astronomically minuscule, so minuscule, and the fact that they even recorded it, awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. Again, if you want to learn more about it, go down to the sources and look more into it. Super amazing. So you remember NES Remix? It was kind of like WarioWare, but like NES games, and it's all remixed, and you play little bits here and there. Well, one Caitlin Molinas is creating a GBA remix. Nintendo never did more beyond the NES one. Maybe they just got bored of the idea, or it wasn't successful enough or something. But she's using emulation and save states to create all these little mini games, basically the same thing, except with GBA. She's even like sped up certain sequences, and I don't know, super interesting. Check it out. Twitter user Shota collected a complete Game Boy collection, every single Game Boy game, but the impressive thing is not that they did it, but that they did it in about 2 years. 2 years, whole entire complete Game Boy collection. Super impressive. And finally, this is another thing that's not actually new. Apparently, some people knew about it, but it didn't get around, and now it's getting around. This is a Breath of the Wild trick, but it's not even a glitch. That's what's so weird. It's just a thing you can do. Anyone can do it. Apparently, if you shoot a pepper, like a spicy pepper, with a fire arrow, it sets on fire and actually creates an updraft. So you put your peppers on the ground, you shoot one to make a draft, you go up, they come with you, you shoot the pepper again, another draft, you shoot another pepper, and you can go super high in the air. That is awesome, and also pretty broken. I bet you could use that for all sorts of casual speed running tactics. That's pretty cool. That is it for this edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. My voice, it's gone. I'm so tired. I'll see you later.